What's up, y'all? It's been a while since some of y'all heard from me or even seen me. And I just feel called to record this video, explain what's been going on in my life. It's definitely been a day-by-day journey, getting back on my feet and all that. But something that's really helped is journaling. It's hard to express what I feel, what I felt, and what I have yet to feel in words. And so, instead of just trying, I've just been writing about it in this little book. So, I don't know, like I said, I feel called to record this video. So, some people that don't understand can maybe get a little bit of a better understanding of what I've been going through. Look, I don't know how long this is gonna take, but got about this much of just riding away. So if you can stay till the end, it'll make a lot more sense, but of course if you can't, I'm not here to force you to watch, but shall we? My name is Fabian Ezekiel Romero, but most of you know me as Easy. See, this past week, and when I say this past week, I mean the week before this, not this week. This past week has been a blur for me because I was weaker than I thought. See, when I was younger, I was a lot closer to God than I have been this past week. I woke up today though, and the sun was out, the storms were calm, and God's voice was clear. See, because I understood that Jesus was returning, and at first I didn't know if anyone else knew, I got amped up. So I went to the first person that was up's house, which happened to be my Uncle JJ. And I left some of my stuff in there. And then I think I went back home and I fell asleep. You see, this is not Fabian's story, for I'm a bright, wise, and loving kid. But because I was getting minimal sleep, I wanted to help, but didn't understand how. All I knew was I wanted to help, but I was only making matters worse for myself, not y'all. And for that, I'm sorry. You see, my actions this past week not only have made me weak and vulnerable, and now that I know where it all went wrong, I owe y'all an apology. But most importantly, I owe God an apology. To keep it real, I wasn't talking the words of life. I was talking out of love, but fear. And now I want to talk words of truth, life, and faith, not out of fear, but out of love. So now, these are a couple scriptures that I was shown. This is no longer my words. These are words straight from the Bible. John 3:16 through 17. For this is how God loved the world. He gave his one and only Son, so that everyone who believes in him will not perish, but have eternal life. God sent his Son in the world not to judge the world, but to save the world through him. 1 Peter 4:8. Most important of all, continue to show deep love for each other, for love covers a multitude of sins. Deuteronomy 31:6. So be strong and courageous, do not be afraid, and do not panic before them. For the Lord your God will personally go ahead of you. He will neither fail you nor abandon you. Now this is Paul's visions and his thorn in the flesh. This boasting will do no good, but I must go on. I will reluctantly tell about visions and revelations from the Lord. I was caught up to the third heaven 14 years ago. Whether I was in my body or out of my body, I don't know. Only God knows. Yes, only God knows whether I was in my body or outside my body. But I do know that I was caught up to paradise and heard things so astounding that they cannot be expressed in words, things no human is allowed to tell. That experience is worth boasting about, but I'm not going to do it. I will boast only about my weaknesses. If I wanted to boast means brag, by the way. If I wanted to boast, I would be no fool in doing so, because I would be telling the truth. But I won't do it, because I don't want anyone to give me credit beyond what they can see in my life or hear in my message. Even though I have received such wonderful revelations from God, so to keep me from becoming proud, I was given a thorn in my flesh, a messenger from Satan to torment me and keep me from becoming proud. 3 different times I begged the Lord to take it away. Each time he said, "My grace is all you need. My power works best in weakness, so that the power of Christ can work through me. That's why I take pleasure in my weaknesses and in the insults, hardships, persecutions, and troubles that I suffer for Christ. For when I am weak, then I am strong." That's Paul's visions, and that's his visions and story. And then now this is whenever I just start journaling, and this is me again. You see, when you think of hard times and struggles you've been through in life, majority of the time, we were all weak, abandoned, and misunderstood. As we look back to those times, obviously I wasn't there, so I can't say for sure how strong or weak you were in that moment, but from experience, I know what it's like for nobody to understand you, for people to want to help, at least I think, and by doing so, they gossip. For people to assume they know what you're going through and tell you something completely opposite from what you needed to hear. The Bible talks about how a friend loves at all times, but a brother is born for adversity. I don't know about y'all, but my parents would emphasize that your friends are not your friends, because God forbid you're in a murder case and it's you or them, you think they're going to take the blame for you or have your back. Now that's what family's for. Some people look at a person and judge them, make fun of them, or even ignore them / distance themselves off of an opinion they made from the outside. I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. Here is an example. You can look at someone who wrecked their car, or even hear about it, and think, that person is not making good choices in life. But what you don't know is that maybe their loved one just died at the hospital they're coming from, and this wreck could have been an attempted suicide. Now, is that smart? Probably not. But because we aren't robots, none of us are smart in our weakest moments in life. Some are strong enough to brush it under the carpet and leave it there for good. Others are wise enough to know how to get back up from there, which is with the strength of God, of course. And lastly is the category I fall into. Some know they aren't okay, but instead of finding the strength within God, they go everywhere else to find that peace and joy they once had. You see, I used to smoke, drink, all that. Not because I'm a bad kid, but because I thought these people I was doing it with had life all figured out. Now that I've learned, I know it was just something I did to take away the pain I didn't want anyone knowing I had. Until one day, this bottle I've held inside for so long started to crack, and I started to feel fear. For those of y'all that don't know about the word fear, the acronym for that word is false evidence appearing real. So I wasn't scared. There wasn't anything I was looking at and striking a scare in me. No, it was fear, false evidence. And that false evidence was all that bottle needed until it busted inside of me and was no longer something I could hide, control, or even put into words. So I did what any scared kid would do. I went to my Father, God. You see, when you're fearful, you don't think straight, and life begins to become a blur. I went and prayed outside of my family members' houses, but did this without the permission of the homeowners, and let my grandparents and my dad testify that multiple demons were casted out of me that week, March 2nd through March 8th. Look, I don't say this to scare you or make you convert to Jesus. solely to inform you on what I've experienced and lived through this past week, which I have to give thanks to God, because not a lot of y'all know that I was this close to snapping my own neck during that week. But like I said, only God knows whether I was in my body or not. But I know that I'm here today and making a lot more sense of my words now than I've ever been able to do before. When it comes to fear, both with the known and the unknown, we really are our worst critics. Don't just hear, but listen when I tell you. It's you against you. You see, the acronym for fear is false evidence appearing real. And at the end of the day, if not handled appropriately, this fear will consume you sooner than later if you let it. If it's brushed under the carpet, don't worry, you'll forget about it, for a little while at least. But when you least expect it, that thought, that reminder, and even experience that you go through will bring it right back. And unfortunately, for me, I went through a lot of the same problems in life because I had no goals, just kind of went with the flow. Until I came across a quote that changed my perspective completely. The problem you struggle with in life won't leave you alone until you've learned your lesson. It's good and bad because for the past 20 years of my life, I struggled with the first step, which is acknowledging that it's even a problem in the first place. You see, yes, I smoked. Yes, I've had a drink before. But what I didn't know was there is a very real God, and there is a very real opposition. And these activities are something I've looked at as restrictions from having fun. Because, man, those first times are the craziest. But after a while, I noticed how sloppy I had become, lazy, weak, and to be honest, mentally retarded. Now, with that being said, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, but you can't tell anyone, okay? This world and the amazing people in it look at you for who you were, but God looks at you for who you're becoming. God and his church may judge from the outside looking in. God and his church may judge from the outside in. I mean, we're all guilty of judging. Now, if it's to help others, make fun of, or just have something to talk about, I don't know, that's up to y'all. But my heart was created to help others. And without wisdom, I can't do that because I don't exactly know the amount of hairs each person on earth has. Better yet, one person alone. And that's all I've got written so far. It's not even halfway. And real quick too, there's a little story in here that Junior read. It's so cute. Look, it's right here. I'm gonna read it for y'all as well, real quick. Easy is the best sibling I ever had. And when people need help, he helps them. He helps me when I ask for something. And when people make fun of him, he doesn't do payback for the people that made fun of him. He's 7, by the way. So I think it was a cute little picture, you know. But, yeah. Thank God I'm finally feeling so much better. So much more alive. So much more energetic, wise, awake, if that makes sense. And, I don't know. I haven't really known what to say or how to really get to people of what I've been going through, because I was afraid of what they may have said about the things I did that past week. Like I said, only God knows if I was in my body or not. Only God knows what was going through my mind. And I feel like this has been the best way to put into words what I've been feeling and experiencing this past week. But that being said, that's all I'm gonna say about it. I'm not gonna boast about it. I'm not gonna brag. Yes, thank God I'm back, but I'm back with a fresh start. This is new beginnings, new chapters, new memories. So with that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I hope y'all got something out of it. And if y'all need anything, y'all just contact me. You know, I love to talk to y'all. I love to hear y'all's stories, answer y'all's questions, anything like that. I'll catch y'all later. Y'all stay blessed.